This is Master Kambai. Welcome to this new replay commentary. Today we got a recurring guest that came many times over. You can now present yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm jakester897, but you can call me just Jake for short. I will plug my stuff at the end. Let's just say I play some Advance Wars, and that's what we're here to talk about today. It's yet another game I played
Yeah.
against Master Combat over here.
So, what do you think about this map? What is your thought process? Do you like the map? Do you don't like the map?
It kind of the way it plays out really reminds me of Scholesy a lot. You got the big open center where there tends to be a lot of fighting. Maybe this only happens on lower levels, but people tend to neglect the edges after a while. One airport, 3 bases, pretty standard stuff there. I like this map. There's nothing I could point to as being super annoying. Sometimes it's like awkward to get units out of that second base, the one near the pipe seam. But
Yeah.
overall, pretty good. Forest in the center. That's a funny one.
That's a broken one. Whoever plays an archery there, you basically with the center.
Yeah, that's pretty true, actually.
There's nothing you can do after that. So you chose tier 4. My thought on tier 4, I hate tier 4. That's the most boring one. Just like tier 2, like tier 2 and tier 4 are kind of boring. Tier 2, it's because of the lack of choices. People only see Eagle and Olaf, so either you end up in a mirror or you end up like Olaf versus Eagle, which is kind of boring, and I cannot blame anybody because Max is kind of trash, and a lot of people don't see the value in some of the tier 3s. They are like, oh, they are tier 3, they don't really stand a chance. But Drake actually has a chance against both Eagle and Olaf because global damage. Now, Kindle, same thing, but it's a bit different. Depending on the matchup, Kindle can be defeated by tier 3 and tier 2 as well, depending of the matchup. Like, Kindle versus Olaf, usually Kindle will win if Kindle is good enough, because she has a day-to-day and Olaf doesn't. Even if global damage is kind of great, Kindle has also global damage, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, tier 2 boring.
Yeah, in a manner of speaking.
Tier 4, my biggest issue with tier 4, well, most of the CEOs play the same, and I will never consider Sammy tier 4 because she's clearly better than all of these. Now, if you play light base, it's different. Sammy is tier 4 in light base, regardless of the map, in my own opinion, because she need infantry spam and she need high numbers. The less units she has on the field, the worse she becomes. So that's why Sammy is the case where most 3 bases map with an airport or even whiteout airport, like the moment you got 3 bases, Sammy should always be considered tier 3 in fog at least, because in standard she's kind of broken, so I understand why she's 2 in standard. So yeah, tier 4 is boring. I to be honest, we played it because you wanted to play it and because diversity, you know. But I think, like, here's the thing. Jake, kind of boring CO. He's good on planes, and most map have planes. So Jake doesn't really have any weakness or strength. He's just the average Joe in pretty much every maps. Jess is kind of fun because she got a weakness, but her capture game is kind of shit. That's sad.
Yeah.
Adder is kind of fun. Usually I don't like CO whiteout day to day, but he is special because he has a 2-star power that gives him extra movement. So because of that, Adder can be very fun. Cole is boring. Grim, we all know Grim. He is fun but trash.
Yeah, he's hype. The most hype CO, I would say.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
not the best if you're trying to win.
But that's funny. One of my alternate account does Global League with only yellow commit seal. So I either play Grim or Sonja, and that's funny because sometimes I'm able to beat like higher tier seals with Grim, and I'm like, okay, that guy was kind of bad. Anyway.
Yeah, that can't feel good to lose to a Grim.
Anyway, now why did you pick Adder?
So I don't know. Lately, I pick Jake all the time, but seen a lot of him, and I don't know. I've been picking Adder lately, and he just real fun CO. You get that power like all the time, and you have to like sort of think how to make this work. How do I take advantage of this extra movement? It's a little fun little puzzle every turn, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did tier 4. I've come to the conclusion that tier 3 is my favorite tier to play, but tier 4 is a close second because
Really?
I like normal, boring, standard games, and in tier 4,
This is
the
what you
CO's abilities barely even matter, like some of the time. So I feel like it barely makes a difference what CO I pick unless it's Sammy. Then you kind of had to shift your game plan. So not much thought went into this, but yeah, Adder, fun, spam the power, profit.
Here's the thing, when you go in higher tier, like tier 4 is the only tier where there's no dynamic, except if Sammy is actually opened, but usually she should always be close to 4 except in light base, as I said earlier, but usually there's no dynamic. The only like CO that played different than the others is Sammy. So when you play like any other times, like everyone in tier 4 likes indirect, everyone in tier 4 likes ground unit, and everyone in tier 4 likes air unit. So the playstyle are like very similar. You will have a few copters here and there. Like none of the tier 4 are copter specialists. Like Sammy liked copters only because of unit count, but she's not a specialist of it. She will be like the only one in tier 4 that will actually think about spamming copters. But the other seal, like, they will have a few copters, of course, for army composition, but it will be blend, like 2 copters, 3 copters each player, and like both army will have like maybe 1 artillery, or 1 army will have just direct units. So it's blend. It's just the same kind of playstyle, and that's why I don't like tier 4. My favorite tier is 1. I do like 3 a lot. 3 is a close second. And I think the most interesting seals are in tier 3, because in tier 3 there's a lot of seal that are underrated, and there's a lot of seal in tier 3 that should move higher. I'm thinking about Lash, Kindle. These 2 should be like tier 2, because I think they can stand a chance depending on the matchup. Maybe Rachel in some maps, if the map is smaller, Rachel. But like the only seals that should remain like really 3 is like Andy, Sonja, and Sammy. They are like the weakest in tier 3, and they are the only ones I really think they should like stay 3. The rest should bump into 2.
We should have a tier 2.5,
yeah,
between them, maybe.
Yeah, because with Lash, man, you can beat a lot of seals because she's really strong and underrated, but you need to play her right. Lash, you need to have the upper end fast, so your prime tactics is effective and stuff. Kindle is just a push button. She doesn't give a crap.
True.
So yeah, I think tier 3 is very interesting. Rachel is like the most weird CO in tier 3, I think, because she can beat COs like Olaf and Eagle because covering fire is really strong, but what really makes her weaker is her day-to-day. She doesn't have a good day-to-day. Like if she fights Kindle or Lash, she will really need her covering fire to make it up because Kindle and Lash both have a much better day to day. So I think Rachel is maybe like 2.5 as you said. I think that could be interesting, or like 3.5 because she is clearly better than Andy, and she is clearly better than Sonja or Sammy. Yeah, tier 4, I ate it. So let's do this. I think you have remote control.
Yes, I do. All right, so Master Combat up top, green, first player, builds 2 infantry. Wow, what a novel strategy right there.
It's the first time you see that opening.
Yeah. I do the same, believe it or not. I mirrored your unorthodox strategy. All right. I will stop moving forward whenever I see something that is a decision point, but we kind of aren't reaching that yet, as far as I can tell. So yeah, you can stop me as well if you see something where I made a choice that was different or could have been different.
Yeah. So far, so good.
You did get to the airport a turn. Oh wait, no,
player
it's the
1.
same turn. Yeah.
You get your base faster, but I get my airport faster.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here I build a recon.
Recons. Why?
Good unit. I want to see stuff. I want to maybe interrupt some captures in the middle because there are like 8 billion contested properties on this map. Now
Not
you
really.
might, yeah. I was about to say that's kind of a dubious statement.
What do you think is the contested cities in this map?
Okay, so I think these 2 are contested. In addition to the corresponding ones over here, which would be this one and this one.
Okay.
Although they kind of clearly belong to green.
Yep.
These 2 kind of clearly belong to green now that I'm looking at it.
This map is a really special map. There are really 2 contested buildings. This one and this one. These usually belong to green. These usually belong to blue. But because of map design, sometimes they become contested if you're able to deny these 2 or these 2. But usually the only 2 really contested building is this one and this one. Here's the thing, they are the further to catch, and they are the easiest to like block from getting captured. If you try as blue to get one of these 2, most of the time you will lose your unit that will try to get it. The same goes for if you're green and you try to get these 2. If you don't have a proper backup, you will lose the unit because it's really fast for blue to reinforce that area. So that's the thing with this map. This map is kind of unique in my own opinion because, as I said, there are only really 2 buildings that are contested. But even there, these 2 buildings are not that much contested. So what's going on most of the time in this map, it's a damage race. You really want to deny your opponent what you can, but it's really hard because most buildings are secured for one side. That building is usually secured to this side. That building is usually secured to this side. But of course, if you have proper unit on the sides, you can deny the other player building. Or if the other player didn't go for that building, because I played many games with lower ILO where people just forget about that building, and that's funny. But yeah, that map is unique. Like, it's a damage race, it's a control for the center as well. So indirect are really good in this map, just because of that. Yeah, I think the opening Raycon is a good strat, but a boring one as well. So I think it's really good to start with a Raycon to gather intel, because in this map there's a lot of roads, so the Raycon is really exposed and it can die one shot, and I'm Jess as well, so my tank deal more damage without even the tower in the calculation. So I think against a Jess player, opening Raycon is for more intel than deny cap and attack infantry, because I'm Jess and I can kill your Raycon without any challenge, if you know what I mean.
That's a good point.
But in general, if it's like Adder versus Cole or Adder versus Jake, then it's very different. Now you can be more aggressive with your Raycon.
Right, I see. So, yeah, I don't know. Recon openings are very common. I feel like this is something, I don't know how exactly to defend it, but something that probably isn't really in need of defending. It's kind of established at this point that this is something you can go for.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
If your opponent goes for a tank opening, you may get a bit of value out of your Raycon, but his tank will really crush your Raycon. So that's the thing with the Raycon opening. You take the risk that your opponent goes for APC opening or indirect opening. If you open a Raycon and your opponent decides to go APC or artillery, then you're lucky and your Raycon will be amazing. But if both player open Raycon, well, both player will have intel, I guess. But if one of the two player goes Raycon and the other goes tank, it doesn't look good for Mr. Raycon, because it will be one tank behind.
Yeah, especially against Jess, where tanks matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine you go for a tank, yeah. Alright, so we got... Well, let's see what I build in response on my turn 5 here. If my inputs are even registering, I'm getting a bit of lag right now.
What is also good with the Raycon opening is the artillery follow-up. You have the money right now, so if you add an artillery as follow-up, that's kind of a great start. Because Raycon and artillery work very well together.
Let's see if I end up doing that. Nope.
Nope.
Just more infantry.
Now the good point is, if you want, you can have 2 tanks next turn, and that will make up a bit for the number of tanks on the field.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So I go
Ooh,
for
you
artillery.
built an artillery.
Yeah, I go for artillery, and looking back, it's kind of bad in my situation because I open up with a tank. Now I did that because I was like, I don't know what kind of adder I will fight. Will he be very, very overly aggressive, or he will be more like what you're doing with your Raycon and just like gather intel? That opening artillery is not bad, but it's not the best follow-up for a tank. I should have gotten a tank instead, but I guess I wanted 12k so I can have tank, Raycon, infantry, or battlecopter and 3 infantry. That could be another case why I bought less for less, like the artillery instead of the tank. There are many reasons why I may have done that.
I guess we'll see next turn.
I actually forgot. Sometimes it's a matter of money.
Yeah, this game started like what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? I forget as well. So I did go tank infantry this turn, which was affordable thanks to my building decisions. Please tell me I captured. Okay, good. I got nervous for a second there. Okay, you do go for battlecopter, which
And-
probably means battlecopter triple infantry.
Yeah.
So, thus justifying your artillery in some sense.
Yeah.
Just generally advancing forward. You seem a bit cool. Well, I guess my turn hasn't been taken, but I was gonna say you seem a bit closer to the center than me at the moment.
I'm player 1, it's normal.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Let me take my turn first, then we'll comment on that.
Now, I will move one turn further even if we are not there yet. Now, why did you place that infantry there? Is it for this building or this building?
Probably the one on the right.
Okay, if it's the case, you did right. But I will speak about a common mistake a lot of lower idle do. They do that and they go for that building instead. Don't you see my infantries? Even if they are weak here, you can say bye-bye to your infantry. It may survive because of my lower firepower, but it will be disabled. You won't be able to capture as efficiently. Like, your infantry won't be as good. And the best way you will use your infantry from that point on here will be like hide somewhere or gather intel. It won't be able to cap anything. So to any like lower idle, never do that. Early in the game, don't expand to that building yet. You don't have proper backup. Yes, you got that tank, but what if I had double tank waiting there and I see your infantry, I use my infantry, kill it, then what? You will send your tank there and then I will send 2 tank and boom, your tank will be gone and your infantry as well.
That's like game losing right there. I mean, obviously it's recoverable if your opponent misplays a little bit, but that's hard to come back from. Losing a tank early on.
So usually I'd suggest people like go get that building instead of this one, because this one, even if it's contested, usually it goes to this player, and this building usually goes to this player. Now, sometimes some people open with transport. If you open with transport, you can steal your opponent's building there. And the recon opening in this map can also deny this building if you open your recon over here, which is a very popular opening. When people are with recons, they open there so they can deny this building. Because this one, I won't get it for a while. So your recon here is still good, but the best course of action for a recon in this map is this base, so it can reach this faster and it can deny that building faster.
That's a good point. And I do notice in my games that I often end up trying to fight over here and over here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that building that early on to try to establish a foothold seems like a fine strat.
So we are back.
Yes, we are. And I want to say, look, I have my recon right here, seeing things. I see you have an infantry right here. I probably am not gonna go for the brave, this center property capture, right? Like, I wouldn't do that, but that's me in my current state of mind, looking in hindsight. Let's see if that actually is the reality here. I built another recon. I like having 2, one for each side.
That's fine.
And I was able to just barely afford recon tank infantry. So everything's looking kind of golden for me right now. No major mistakes. Okay. Battlecopter coming in. That's a really early battlecopter, or maybe not like super early, but earlier than I would normally expect. So I am going to imagine I did not come prepared with anti-air. I don't know why. I never build anti-air until it's too late. It's a massive issue I gotta work on. But yeah, you have 2 captures going on in the center. Things are looking pretty good for you. This artillery, I imagine you want to hide it somewhere in this forest, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
at that point I don't know what you got. That's why I don't move too far. Because the moment if you add that left side recon instead of the right side recon, if I'm too far away, you will see it and it will take shots, and it's kind of bad. So that's why I don't move it too far, but I really want to hide it somewhere at some point. And if I just leave it there, it will waste turns and time, you know? If I go there, I can move around and like maybe send it there, surrounded by unit, or maybe send it there. I have more option if I'm here instead of here.
Right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Definitely no discrediting here. My recon sees so many infantry bolting down this side, and you're capturing this. So if I did go for this, I would get trapped, which would not be very good. Yeah, okay, good. Past me, I'm gonna give you a pat on the back. Did not do something silly. This might have been a little silly though.
Yes. Never do that. This is a 700 play right now. Recon should gather intel. By placing this recon this way, it's very exposed. It's only a plane, so this means if I roll, I think with 1 tower, Jake can take it down.
Wait, a battlecopter takes down a recon?
No, the tank.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you barely make it over there. No, I think it does when it KO. Wait, you know you can click select next to attacker and just pick the unit right on the map, and then it automatically sets the CO and everything.
I'm a boomer. Yeah.
So you click next to attacker. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, that's
if I chip
deadly.
damage you, your recon is dead.
Yeah, and you have a 4 HP infantry. You can do just that, so.
So this is a 400. This is a 700 play right now.
Yeah, I was 400. That's a little low, honestly. But 700, sure. Yeah, I'll take 700. Now, in my head, I was like, oh, I got backup through this tank, but I mean, kind of, but you have this battlecopter as well. And I'm not considering that you built a battlecopter. Tank, artillery, infantry. I mean, how can you go wrong with such a build? This is very common on like turn, I don't know, what is it, 8? When you have like 1400 in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually that's the turn I make my first anti-air, usually.
Oh, so you go anti-air, double infantry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around day 8 or 9, most of the time, I have my first anti-air out.
Wow, speak of the devil. Boom.
No more recon.
No more recon. Just out of existence.
Now, I know it's my weak side, that's why I spam tanks, because I want backup.
I see. That makes sense. I do the same thing. I mean, I started doing the same thing ever since I realized that strong side and weak side is a thing that exists. Okay. Now, this is looking, I'm not gonna lie, pretty troublesome for me.
Yeah, at that point I was like, I have a good lead.
Yeah. So let's see how I end up finishing this turn. Wow, what a brave move.
No.
Actually,
No. Why? Okay.
yeah,
Why?
this is a
You
this is a
know
big
I got
problem.
that copter, and now you know I got that tank.
Yeah,
Why?
that's true. I think my plan is to swing that left tank over. I could be wrong, and maybe I don't actually do that. But then I'm like, okay, 3 tanks versus 2 tanks, and a battlecopter. One of those tanks is on 4 HP. This is maybe doable.
No. Don't do that.
If I also have like so many infantry here, if I interfere with movement enough, maybe, just
That's
maybe.
another 700 play right now.
Okay, fair enough. I do park that tank in the center there, so it can kind of go on either front. Take out that infantry, start capping. This is a real brave play.
Wow.
Wow,
You're
my
lucky I'm
bravery
Jess.
is...
Maybe you're like Jess has weaker infantry, let's do stupid stuff around.
Here I get trapped, and that I'm pretty bummed about, but luckily nothing is in range. I do build an anti-air, thank goodness.
I hope so. You see my copter.
After seeing your copter, yeah, you'd think that would be like priority 1, but you blow up my tank, poor guy. Ooh, that infantry, that would have killed if you weren't Jess.
Yeah.
Why would you choose such a CO?
Because she's fun. Even if
Yeah, that's true.
she got weaker infantry, she's fun.
Yeah, the fun is what matters, not the W or L at the end of the day. Not even your rating number. Although, it is pretty fun to win, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so you have more tanks incoming. Oh my god, a medium tank.
At that point, I feel like I'm in a bad situation because one of my tanks is at 4 HP. So it's kind of bad, and I don't know how many tank you got in the center. So I'm like, okay, I will take up right now, so I will be overly aggressive in the center, and if he tank spams in the center, I will overwhelm him, because I don't expect you to have the funds for a medium tank yet. However, my worst enemy is already out and moving around, just foreshadowing the ending.
Yeah, it's looking for prey. However, we kind of had to get to a situation where an artillery can land a hit on that medium tank for any disasters to occur. So we're kind of banking on a lot, and you can maybe prevent that with some careful play. Let's see what ends up happening. Okay, this has got to be the least careful place to put this artillery.
If I had one recon at the right place, that artillery is revealed.
Yeah. No terrain defense bonus even. Just very open. I guess I was figuring, oh, I want to move into this forest. However, I'm at her. I think if I go from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, no. This is if I use the power, this is how close I have to be to get into that center forest on the next turn, I think.
Yeah.
So actually, this is very justified.
Man, these infantry really want to die.
Yeah, the tanks too. Here I get trapped. Very embarrassing.
Man.
I am taking out quite a few of your infantry, though.
Yeah.
Which is worth taking note of.
Unit count.
Yeah, let's take stock of unit count and income right now. It's the end of my turn. We're about to enter day 11. You are one building ahead of me on income. Not for well, you have that neutral property capturing though on your own side.
Oh, yeah. But you were also very slow to get this one.
Yes, that is true. That
Because
is.
I had this one for like 2 turns now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a contributing factor. And you rightly contested my capture of this corresponding property
Yeah.
to the one that you have, and that's really the difference.
So we are back.
Yeah, so I do have more unit count. In fact, the gap, it's not something you can't make up if you just take out a few of my infantry
I
that are
need
on
to
low health
spam
next turn.
copters. That's my only way to overcome 6 like that.
Yeah. Although, if you do that and just take out a couple of my infantry, all of a sudden you have the unit count advantage. So it looks like a big gap, but I think this is
6 at the
playable.
start of your turn is already kind of bad. It's already looking really bad. If you have 6 units behind for many turns in a row, then at some point your army will just collapse and you will lose. So
Yeah.
it's not really good. Like 1 turn is fine as long as the value is similar, which is the case right now. Right now it's fine, but if at the start of each of my turn I have like less unit than you, there's no way I'm coming back.
Yeah, that's true. If it's a sustained unit count disadvantage, then certainly you're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
I think it only swung just this one turn though. And like if your opponent overextends to try to kill some more of your units, well naturally you're gonna end up having that gap, but then you could just hit them right back and then it's even again. So
Yep.
you know,
I
this
think
is
Jess is the most difficult seal to play in tier 4, outside of Sammy when she's considered 4. Mainly because of her trash capture game. Her infantry war is always a struggle. That's the thing with Jess.
yeah, and I mean your infantry just kind of melted like butter this turn. I think
And
this
they don't deal enough damage. You see, your 1 HP should have died. You have a
Mhm.
lot of infantry that should have less HP than what they got. Like, when you first strike them, like, they became disabled after that because of their weaker firepower.
Yeah, I didn't even like use a power or anything. It's just kind of naturally how it turns out in an infantry battle against Jess.
Yeah.
So that's a major weak point. You do have powerful tanks though, so
Now I use turbocharge because I see your tank and because I feel like I need it.
well, that's as good of a reason as any.
Bow.
Man, that thing went far. Whoa, the one hit kill.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, you've already killed enough where if you just make 4 units, you are ahead in unit count again.
Yeah.
Wow, 3 HP tank fighting a 4 HP tank, bringing them both down to 2. Pretty good. I don't think your power affects how well your infantry fire, unfortunately
But
for
they
you.
become normal, so
Oh,
they are better.
okay.
Because
Disregard
every
that
unit get a 10% buff. And now looking back, I think I did a mistake to do this. I should have sent that tank here to back up this one, because right now this one is alone, and here I got a medium tank. So I think that mistake is kind of big for me right now, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's a we'll have to see thing more than a this is clearly not.
As we were
correct
playing, I
thing.
thought you had a heavy focus in this area. To be honest, I had no idea you had stuff there.
well, now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually if you're suffering in one area, it's because your opponent didn't throw anything into the other area. But sometimes
Any other seal would
that is
have
not the
killed that
case.
infantry.
That is also true. You build an anti-air, a copter, and 2 infantry. Okay, understandable. The anti-air, I only had 1 battlecopter at this point. But good insurance. I think, like with your current army composition, a battlecopter in an untimely at an untimely moment could ruin your day.
Yeah.
So that's a good build choice. And of course,
Unit
trying to
count
up your
as
unit
well.
count. Yeah. I don't know what my unit count is, but I'm pretty sure it's lower than it's displaying on the screen right now.
Yeah, it didn't update.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Big power right here. My anti-air is, well, first of all, I'm able to slide this artillery in the center forest. Now, let's
Now
look very
you are in
closely
charge
here.
of the center.
Okay. I was gonna say you should have been able to see it if you watched the replay. However,
I don't.
I know you don't watch replays, and B, I actually took a path where you wouldn't be able to see it. So I've been paying attention to that in my games. Actually, that's how in depth I'm willing to go. Okay. Man, infantry taking no counterattack damage. I was about to like comment if I had gone for a capture here, that would have been insane. Yeah, this battlecopter dying in 1 fell swoop, definitely not good for your prospects. Here I start capturing and you're already there, ready to defend the honor of the queen. But I do have a battlecopter ready to maybe help out. And honestly, the real fun part of using Adder is your infantry are so much faster. The difference between 3 and 4 movement is massive.
Yeah.
A factor that I think I underrated. I don't know if other players maybe also underrate it. It's like so much faster to reinforce, get more infantry on the front lines when you have that going. Here I fortify the hell out of this artillery. It's basically invincible now because you can't reveal it and then also fire. So also triple tank. Let's go. I had barely enough for that. Here I go for the capture. I don't know why. But yeah, that's what's happening here. All right.
So now it's 2 turns in a row where I got 5 or more unit behind, so it's already looking kind of bad for me.
That's true. However,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I'll let the audience decide what that means.
At
We
that
go
point,
open
I
to
already lost.
artistic interpretation there. The fact that this didn't kill kind of blew my mind, actually.
Because of your power. Extra defense.
Yes.
Look at that trash
Look at
damage
that.
pool. Look.
Wow. That is, honestly, I feel bad now.
That infantry should be at like 1 HP. Maybe it should have died if I rolled once.
Okay, that tank does end up kicking the bucket. That infantry, bam, 1 fell swoop, instantly dead. Artillery, powerful unit right there. And I don't think I ever noticed that artillery at all. Neo tank, whoa there.
Okay, I will tell you this. At that point, I knew I was far behind in terms of tanks. But looking back, I should have went battlecopter and indirect instead. Because unit count, I had no clue my unit count was this awful. So that's why I went Neo Tank. I thought I was only behind in terms of tanks. That's why I went for a Neo Tank.
Yeah, fair enough. But that's I guess the danger of a high concentration of funds in one unit is yeah, when you're at a count disadvantage, it's kind of hard to like spread out the value over the battlefield like you need to sort of overwhelm the swarm. At least that's the way I look at it. It's
Yep.
a very high level abstract way of seeing it, I guess. But bam,
That shot won you the game.
yeah, that was the artillery shot heard across the world.
Even without looking at the replay, I knew you had an indirect now. I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. There's no other reason for a medium tank to lose 5 HP out of nowhere. This is a brave capture.
Oh my, that guy really wanted to die.
Here I rest my 1 HP tank on this city. Seems like a waste of time a little bit, but I think it ends up coming in handy later. Once again, my artillery is perfectly defended on 3 sides, and that's
Yeah.
all you need. Unless you have an artillery of your own, which I don't see, so I'm not thinking of the consequences there. Wait, what did I build? Battlecopter, artillery, recon, infantry? What an odd build, but I guess...
You had the money, so...
Yeah, I could have gone...
And recon is fine because you don't have any recon right now and you need vision.
Oh, that is true. That's probably actually exactly why I built this. So... There we go, defending my own decision.
Now I pick up my turn, I'm like, oh no, my 16k is gone.
Well, not gone yet.
Well, it's at 8 and it's now
You can still rest on a
that
city.
has 5 space instead of 6.
Yeah, that's kind of true, actually, when you put it like that. Okay. Now, even knowing that I have an indirect somewhere, you do
I
decide
need to clean
leave
the
your
center. If I
anti-air.
don't, you will just cap everything in the center and I won't be able to stop you because I'm Jess.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And I was also hoping at some point I could actually reveal that freaking artillery and get payback. That was the other purpose.
You want the revenge plot, I see.
Yeah.
Another anti-air. I guess that's useful at clearing infantry, even if I have no copters that you see. And you're able to afford it in addition to 2 tanks.
Now looking back, I should have gotten a battlecopter instead of one of the 2 tanks. But I don't think I have the money. So I
No,
think
you didn't. You would have had to maybe
copter,
trade in.
anti-air, and double infantry. Or copter, anti-air, infantry, and recon.
Yeah, something like that. But then you kind of you don't have enough tanks. Like you're Jess, and you have no normal sized tanks. You just have the medium and the Neo. So that feels bad too. You're kind of in a bind a little bit.
Yeah. At that point I lost. It's crystal clear. Ooh.
Why did I fire? Oh,
Well,
to
you want to kill
swing
my stuff, and you probably had an idea you had a better unit count than me at that point.
Yeah, honestly, that first turn where I slaughtered a bunch of your infantry, once that happened, I was like, okay, I can kind of sit pretty for a second.
Yeah.
Just kind of try to shove my advantage down your throat, because I knew I had an advantage. Just kill count wise, there's no way I didn't. Disastrously, I leave this infantry in full view of your artillery, which I have still not seen yet. But that's fine. Have I seen this Neo tank yet? I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
I think this will probably be the turn where you reveal it. So we got turbocharge. That medium tank comes back to haunt me. Your regular tanks move forward as well. You got 2 HP infantries blocking those forests. And actually, this becomes relevant later, although not super relevant to the outcome. It was like a little small interaction on the side of the board. Okay.
My Newton got trapped by the end here.
Oh, okay. So you got like 0 value out of that turbo. Well, okay, your tanks moved farther.
Pissed off when I got trapped.
Yeah, that never feels good.
Because here's the thing, I think my guess was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I wanted to go here, so I'm closer to that.
Oh, on the.
But I got trapped by your freaking NT because I don't watch the replays.
Yeah. Honestly, that might be the difference makers. The replays you're not watching.
And just trash infantries.
Yes, that is also a big difference maker. Why did I now activate the side slip?
I don't know. You're the one playing.
I think I was trying to accomplish something very specific, and let me see if I can recall what that was. Hold on, how many spaces did that battlecopter move? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this battlecopter would not have been able to fire on this particular infantry without the side slip. There has to be something else to this story, though. Okay, my tank's bravely fighting in the face of both a medium tank and a neo tank. Oh, I think that actually might also have been some more value. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's farther than it should go. And of course, I slide my artillery in a visible, open spot with no coverage. And you don't have vision.
Unit count.
Yeah, I knew you didn't have vision. That's the other thing about these like super high-powered tank units is that they have one vision space. And when you know your opponent has a bunch of these, you can kind of just do whatever you want, and they can't do anything about it. Now this is a little even braver than I'm able to justify.
That
and I
artillery really wanted to die. That's my strong side we are talking about.
See,
it's
I know
crystal clear I will see it.
No, of course you'll see it. And I think what I was thinking was I need to like somehow defend this tank because I see that you have a tank here that's gonna counterattack.
But you also know I have my own artillery there.
As soon as you do attack this tank, you'll be able to see my artillery. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If you had one tank here, this is a play that might make some sense, but that's kind of just throwing away the artillery. And I think right after I made this move, I realized the mistake, and I was like, well, at least it's bait. So that's my new justification, is I was doing it to bait you. Haha, you fell for it. However, that's
I was
okay.
forced to do that because I was blind. I had no clue what you had around, and I'm like, you will not expect me to throw my Neo tank for an infantry.
I mean, you see this, but yeah, I certainly didn't expect it. But I guess you're preserving your income, which is the only advantage you have at the moment.
Yeah. And I also wanted to affect your unit count without endangering
Wait,
my troops.
if you bring the recon up first, then all of a sudden your Neo tank can see.
Yeah, I didn't thought about that. I think my morale was already down at that point, and I knew I lost.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Ooh,
I think I resigned at
taking
the
it
end of this turn,
out.
I think.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah.
Self-immolation. Very violent. Yeah. Okay, so I was actually looking at this at the end of this all, and I was like, well, you do have this Neo tank that still has the life in it. You have this two medium tanks, as a matter of fact. You have a battle cop. Yeah, actually, never mind. I don't know what the point I was about to make was. um, yeah, I don't have any like big units at all.
But at the start of your turn, you got 10 extra unit and 20k more.
Yeah, 20k more unit value. So, yeah, that was this game.
Artillery
We
in the
learned
center for the
we
win.
learned one very important thing, which is try to get an artillery in the center of the map there, uh, but don't try so hard that you end up losing. That might take this advice as like a suggestion, not necessarily a you must do this. And the other thing is, well, two more things. One, if you're playing in a map that has a forest in the center, don't leave your medium tank in range of a hypothetical artillery in that tile without maybe looking to see if it's possible an artillery exists there first. And then the second thing is, Jess's infantry are not very good, and so if you're playing against Jess, if you take out a bunch of infantry early on, it's going to be real hard to come back because any infantry that comes back into the battle is just going to get smushed. And I guess the last thing I want to say is the whole time you had an income lead, but I still ended up winning, and that just goes to show that having more income is not everything. Yes, it's a big advantage, but you can overcome it with the right tactical plays.
That's a good breakdown. I will enforce that by saying I won many game where I was behind in terms of income, just like what you just did, by taking out unit count and by being smart with the engagement. My most recent one was Grim versus Sonja. I was Grim. I was against Sonja, and for most of the game, he had the income lead. But I was so aggressive and I destroyed so many of his unit on the front line that he wasn't able to like protect the stuff. So I just stole all of his building, and like in 2 or 3 turns, my economy got back on track, and his was destroyed and his army was in pieces as well. So I just won. And the other example I had, this one is even worse. I think that was Olaf versus Kindle, and I was Kindle, I think. I remember the map, and I remember what happened for like probably half of the game that lasted like 30 days. My opponent was ahead in terms of economy. Like he had like 5k more than me because he was very, very, very aggressive. But here's the thing, he was so aggressive that he just wanted to damage my infantry so they cannot capture. So at the end, since they were still alive, I was able to counterattack. And because I wasn't throwing my unit away, I was able to like kill his stuff because he was damaging his own unit. So what's going on? At some point, we were kind of even in terms of unit count, but I had more value than him because I wasn't throwing away my unit. And after like 15 days, I had the unit count advantage, and I started capping his building, and then it snowballed. The turn after that, I crushed him even more. He could not keep up because now I had the economy lead and the unit count lead. I cannot wait to cover that replay commentary. regardless, the guy just didn't want to give up. At some point, I sent him a message by like day 18 or 20. I was like, yeah, buddy, you had hard time against me when you had the economy lead, and now I know I have the unit count lead and the economy lead. Can you flip the table? And he's like, we will see. And then he resigned a few days after. So yeah, economy is important. Don't get me wrong. Don't get us wrong. Economy is important, but unit count is more important, and unit value as well. If you have an army of infantry, you cannot do much. Or if you have an army of heavy tank, you cannot do much as well. And vision as well. I think another thing that really damaged me during that game, my lack of recon. I think I played too much into like heavy tank too fast, and I didn't add enough recon when I did take up.
Yep, that's very true. And yeah, it's a very important lesson. We have a bunch of metrics. We have the unit count, and we have unit value, and we have income, and all of these are an indicator of where the game is at. But I've seen comebacks with, every single one of these at a disadvantage for one player, and they come back and win. So our understanding of the game is clearly not complete yet, which is part of why I'm enjoying this so much. Discussing with other players and going over the theory with everyone is real exciting, because you never really know how a match is going to turn out. And also, when you do end up making a fat comeback, it feels really good. It's always exciting to see. In fact, even if you're on the receiving end of a nice comeback, it's like you got to give props to your opponent. That was pretty good of them. So yeah, this game is pretty fun. If you're on the fence about playing it, please do.
So yeah, thank you again for coming. Is there anything going on your channel?
So that video was.
You are cutting off for some reason.
Editing? While editing it?
You are cutting off
am I
for
good
some
now?
reason. You
Okay,
are
wait.
cutting off for some reason.
Okay, how about now? Is there...
Now it's better.
Okay, yeah. What I was saying was, that video I was making, that's like a three-parter I was talking about. I was editing it. I realized there's something more I wanted to add, so I had to re-record part of it. And that's coming. That's the next project that's going to be on my channel. And I know it's like, oh, it's been so many months, and you're gonna release this video. It better be real good. No, it's gonna be like okay, but YouTube is not my full-time like activity or anything like that. Just a little hobby I do on the side when it's fun. So if you're, I will say, math, gaming, various weird life stuff. If you like my personality, you'll love that channel. If you like any of those particular topics, you'll like my channel. So check it out. I imagine Master Combat put it in the description. I can't say for sure though.
Yeah, I will. Don't worry about that.
Okay, great. And subscribe to Master Combat too. He puts a lot of hard work into making tons and tons of Advance Wars replay commentaries. He has guests on all the time that know so much more about the game than I do, and he deserves some attention. So get that subscriber number up. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything.
So thank you again for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff. And don't forget to go take a look to Jakester in the description below. I wish you all a great day.